I like the switchybacks, yeah. Those are the trails always hurt my back, yeah. And they put my knees all out of whack, yep. That's why I like those switchybacks, yep. Take me to the bridge. Stuart here, going to find out how's the hike on the new Goose River Trail in Fundy National Park. Well, pretty cool to be underway. I'm pretty excited about this trail. Obviously, been out to Goose River before, a couple times, hiked the Fundy Footpath, but this is a brand new trail. It's so rare for a national park to cut a brand new trail these days. I mean, it's unheard of. And nice backcountry trail, somewhere around the 10K mark. Gets me out to Goose River. We're gonna camp on the beach for the night, then head back tomorrow. Just a little quick out and back, but I really wanted to see this new trail. A little chilly for late May. When I got in the car this morning, it was 3 Celsius. Currently about 10 or 11. That's about what? 50 Fahrenheit. So a little nippy, but I'm in no hurry. And like I said, really excited to see this brand new trail in Fundy National Park. Woohoo! As you can already see, lots of visual payoff at the very beginning of this trail. I've already showed you lots of little waterfalls, big waterfalls. The coast is right there, Bay of Fundy. All the way over to Nova Scotia, beautiful clear day. And the trail is just wonderful. They've really done a great job. I mean, if you're gonna hike the Fundy Footpath, through hike it, this is the trail you'll end or start on. And of course, you saw last year in our video on the Fundy Footpath that the Fundy Footpath Connector, the new one, is a lot like this. Easy to walk, nice and wide, and pretty much brand new. So really awesome work by the folks at Fundy National Park. Fantastic. Speaking of waterfalls, it's like non-stop. Keep an eye out for these. There are a couple of these where Coppermine does a loop from the Goose River Trail. So, you know, both of these, Coppermine veers off to the right and Goose River continues to the left. Just something to keep an eye out for. Been noticing this birch bark that's fallen off the trees. Cool thing about birch bark is it's an excellent fire starter. Like, this will burn hot. It'll burn even when it's kind of wet. So if I had a bag or something, I'd be collecting this right now in case I want to start a fire later. That stuff is money. So if you do see that birch bark, please don't peel it off a tree. But if you see it laying on the ground, it's fair game. And it'll get your fire going quick. Final descent into Mile Brook. Upstream from here, two brooks converge, first mile and second mile. And then they become Mile Brook. At least that's what it says on my map. I've just descended a pretty good ways, so thinking the other side might be uphill. Let's go find out. Well, there's the answer to my question. What goes down must come up in hiking most of the time. Oh. Oh boy. Ferns are popping up here now. I'm going to say a little while ago, those would have been fiddleheads. You look over here, actually, I can show you, if I can get in nice and close. I mean, this one's starting to open up too. You wouldn't eat it now, but when they're babies and come out of the ground and they're all curled up tight, you cut them, steam them up with some butter. Oh, beautiful. Actually, you can buy them here in New Brunswick too, in season fresh and then frozen in the grocery store. If you haven't tried fiddleheads, it's a lovely green vegetable and a real delicacy from this part of the world. Worth a try. Finished my climb, obviously, as you can tell, and kind of leveled out here, come around the point, and the trail's just in magnificent shape. Really a lovely walk. You know, a little bit of a workout up and down is the case with this part of the coast, obviously, but just an excellent trail so far. I haven't seen that move before. Little thumper move with his foot. Oh, there it is again. I'm going to say that's squirrel for agitated. The wild animals of Fundy National Park. Getting very close now to the campsites, and I just want to show you if you can see, kind of see that flat spot on an angle over there. That's the old trail, which was an old cart path. This is far prettier and certainly more of a backcountry type experience hiking out here to Goose River. So, but we are getting close, you and I, because that old path is right there. So a few more steps and I'll check it out. Coming into camp. So there's an outhouse here, firewood over there, all cut, bucked up and ready for you, which is nice. I'm down on the beach tonight, so if I wanted to use some of that nice Parks Canada firewood, I would be walking down or walking back up. A little more exploring here. There's another site over here on the bluff, which has a beautiful view. Should be able to see Martin Head. If you'll bear with me, I'll show you that. I think this is number 5, GR5. That's a great spot. Of course, there's Martin Head. You've seen that on our Fundy Footpath videos. We've walked by that a few times. Yeah, this is a lovely, I think this is number 5. This is a lovely spot. Really, really nice. Really great spot for a tent with a great view. They've changed the signs and moved them over to point to the new Fundy Footpath Connector. There was an older connector just right up here. If for some reason you think you should go that way, don't. This is a beautiful new connector, quite a lot like the trail we just saw. And my campsite's just under half a K down here to the beach. And then I'll have to come on back up for some water and to get organized. Well, I apologize a minute ago. I was totally wrong. This is probably number 5, GR5. That was 4 I showed you before, which is a beautiful campsite in and of itself. And you can see here another spot right, I'm walking over for a tent. And great view with your fire pit out down there as well. So that was my mistake. And here we are. Tent pad. Goose River. This is the park limit, actually. As you cross over the river, up there you get the Fundy Footpath. It's going to be a nippy night down here with the wind. Fortunately, somebody has done a whole lot of work there to keep the tents out of the wind. Open fire pit here, sheltered fire pit here. That's also very nice of people because the wind is just blowing in off the bay. Quick little tour. I showed you all the fire pits when I came in. There's more camping over here. If you want to set up over there, as you can see. Back in there is actually an outhouse, and of course up that way is the Fundy Footpath, and you head over that way eventually to head to St. Martin's. I've just checked with the park, and nobody's joining me upstairs tonight. We'll call those campsites upstairs. And I just checked the weather, and it's going to blow harder, maybe up to a 10, 11 knot wind right in my direction, and overnight it's going to rain. That wasn't in the forecast, but if you're from around here, you know that doesn't mean much of anything. So as much as I absolutely adore this campsite and would love to set up right here behind these rocks, I'm going to head up top to one of those other more sheltered campsites to get out of the weather if it happens. And of course that's a very narrow, kind of already wet path, and I don't want to have to tackle that first thing in the morning in the rain either. So just one of those calls you can make if there's space. And fortunately I had a bar of cell service and I was able to check on that. So that's the plan. I'm going to head back up top and get somewhere a little less exposed with the weather that's supposed to be coming in here a bit later. Gorgeous view from up here. Look around camp real quick. I already showed you this earlier, but I'm all set up now and letting the tent air out. Just kind of enjoying a little bit of sunshine, filtered my water, you know, all the usual stuff. Outhouse is just up around there, which is nice. There's maybe I'll show you this tomorrow, but there's even Purell in the outhouse, like a you know, a hand pump thing that you get like hand sanitizer out of. Fundy National Park. I mean, you really up the game. It's pretty cool. So yeah, just kind of hanging out now. This is the part I like. If you just listen. Let me just turn the camera around and wait for my ugly mug here, and you can just listen. Yeah, that's what I've been listening to, and it's well, we all need it in life, right? Definitely. So a little more of that, and supper time. been raining here every couple of days off and on, so I thought I'd try to start a fire with birch bark, because I mentioned it earlier, and not use my zip fire starter. We'll see how this goes. You can't hear this, but I can hear the wood hissing. And even though it breaks, snaps really cleanly, it's still wet from the rain. So you can hear it hissing, and then eventually when all the moisture comes out of the wood, poof, it burns like you would expect. But you need some consistent heat to make that happen. I can even see the moisture literally coming out of a piece of wood. If you've been out here a lot, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But all right, see what happens. Well, that's a wrap on day one. 10.1 kilometers to the campsite down on the beach. As you know, decided to come up top where it'll be a little warmer tonight because it's going to be chilly. It's already chilly. I'm in my puffer jacket, and thought I'd wrap it up out here so I can get changed and get into my sleeping bag where I'll be a lot warmer. Put the fire out safely, stirred the coals all around, and clean that up for the next folks there tomorrow morning. Expecting a little rain, and then 10 kilometers back out to the car tomorrow. Really good tune-up though, because girls and I are going to be on the West Coast Trail here in a few weeks. That'll be the next video you see after this one. 2 years in a row for Dad, which is pretty cool. But been sitting a while, so getting out here and even just 20 kilometers over a couple days is really helpful, just to kind of get moving again for that. So yeah, no bear hangs here that I could find. In fact, when we did the Fundy circuit, there were no bear hangs that I could find either. So we just hung our food from trees as best we could, trying to do it the proper way, of course, no problems. But I kind of figured that might be the case, so I brought my ursack with a odor-proof bag inside and tied it off to a tree just over there, about 100 feet, 150 feet, just to be safe. And hopefully it'll be there in the morning. So really good day today. Love the trail, and I'm going to turn in for the night and stay warm, and we'll see you in the morning. How many mornings I wonder if I've woken up and seen that, or even shown you on video. Oh, 2. Really good sleep. Cold though, holy cold. I'm a cold sleeper, and I should have brought a different sleeping bag. Sorry. But yeah, chilly. Whew. Very, very chilly, and but a really good sleep. Slept really well. Very peaceful. Some weird animal noises in the night. There was some flapping just over here, like of a very large bird. I'm thinking probably a partridge or something. Was around here doing something, and then just took off and did its thing. But yeah, really good. So not very far to go this morning. Back out 10 kilometers to the car. Gonna try to dry these things off and have a little coffee and breakfast, and then just kind of make my way back to the car, and hopefully it doesn't rain too much more. But yeah, kind of excited to see this trail now going in the other direction. So up and at 'em. Here we go. Nice view for a coffee, huh? Underway from Goose River. Beautiful spot down here, all 3 campsites. Made the right call, checking in with Parks to see if I can move up here. A lot more sheltered. Pretty windy and blustery last night for a while. But And then didn't have to start the day with that walk straight uphill from the beach. But this is the harder end of the trail, that's for sure. As you get closer to the Fundy Footpath, it gets a little more rugged and up and down. So we'll get that out of the way this morning and coast back to the car, if you'll pardon the pun. Just gonna say one last time, maybe, how well this trail's been built. This is super smart. These are low areas where you can see water's gonna flow most of the year probably, especially in the spring runoff and after heavy rains, and it rains here a lot. So they've put these big boulders in here to keep the trail from washing out, and it's just really smart. Whoever designed this, the trail builders, the crew, did a fantastic job building this for the long haul. I mean, you know, stuff happens on trails, blowdowns, washouts, things like that, but little steps like that will mitigate a lot of those seasonal issues. Really, really well done. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Nice job, folks. I like the switchybacks, yeah. Those other trails always hurt my back, yeah. And they put my knees all out of whack, yep. That's why I like those switchybacks, yep. Take me to the bridge. It's a pretty spot. Saw it yesterday coming in. I mean, everyone loves waterfalls, but I even love, if you look over here, just all of that. The moss, you know, just growing. So pretty. Really pretty. That's the other thing about walking, you know, an out and back. You do get to see different stuff. I know earlier when I did those switchybacks, just before I did those, I was coming down the hill and, you know, into Mile Brook, and I saw this huge pool and waterfall from up on the hill coming this way. Didn't see it yesterday, and it wasn't near the bridge that I could see. So you keep your eyes out when you walk these out and backs for different scenery each direction. It's pretty cool. This isn't very far from the trailhead, I'll tell you, man. That's beautiful. Just beautiful. Breaking out of the woods now. Back to this little cart path road that goes back to the parking lot. And yeah, there we are. Let's think about how's the hike here in a few seconds. All right, we're back. As you can see, this used to be the old Goose River Trail. up onto a cart path, and you can see they put a sign here. Just keep an eye out for that when you come down. So, wow, big question is, how's the hike? I loved it. I love this new trail. So exciting to see Parks Canada building new backcountry trails from scratch. It was just fantastic. Huge improvement over the cart path. I'm going to flash up on the screen now my Gaia GPS tracks from the last few times I've been out there, and you can see the new tracks at the bottom of the screen that follow the coastline. Just fantastic. So really, really awesome. And then, you know, if you're thinking of hiking the Fundy Footpath, obviously you're going to hike that either at the beginning or the end to get to the connector, which is also brand new. But if you haven't hiked a lot and you're thinking you're going to challenge yourself with that, this would be a great 20-kilometer out and back, just to kind of get a feel for the topography of the area, because it does get a little harder as you get down toward Goose River. So I highly recommend it. Just a fantastic hike and a good tune-up for me for the West Coast Trail in a couple of weeks. Any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And until the West Coast Trail, we'll see you next time.